What's going on YouTube? This is Atomic Collectables coming back at you all with another unboxing and review. Today I got something a little new for you guys. I've got something in from Prime1 Studios. That's right. We are going to review our first Prime1 statue on the channel. And what better one than the 1/10 scale Velociraptor limited edition. And I got number 256. So without that, let's go ahead and crack this baby open. And here it is, guys. So once you get it out of its shipper box, this is the collector's art box here. Comes in this little plastic bag. So we're going to go ahead and get this undone and pull out the box proper. Oh, look at that. What a beautiful box. So let's go ahead and go over the box really quick. If you don't care about this, go ahead and feel free to skip right on ahead. So front of the box is very interesting. You're going to get a portrait of the statue that's going to be in here. And again, this is the Prime collectible figure Velociraptor Jump 1/10 scale. Got Jurassic Park logo there, and then Prime1 Studio. And then throughout the box, they have this really beautiful like skeleton fossil artwork throughout the entirety of the box. Really cool. And then you have a cutout window where you can see the actual statue inside. Side of the box is going to depict the Jurassic Park logo, and then it's going to continue that fossil artwork that we see here. Back of the box is going to depict the actual statue that you're going to get inside the box here. Here are a couple shots and highlights from that statue, a back shot of the statue, and then they actually have another version of this Velociraptor. So there's two. There's the jumping version, and then there's an open mouth, closed mouth version of this guy here at the bottom. I'll go ahead and put that up on the left-hand side of the screen here so you guys can see some of the other statues that they have in this line. And with that, let's go ahead and get the packaging out of the box. And once you get that out of the box, it's going to be a styrofoam package with a slip cover here. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the slip cover. Hopefully our statue doesn't come tumbling out of this thing. But let's go ahead and get this unpackaged. So here is the actual metallic stands. So let me go ahead and get that out of the bag here. Oh, come on. There we go. Go ahead and just pull that out. There you go. Metallic stand that the raptor sits on. Because this is making me nervous, let's go ahead and get the statue proper out. Oh, look at that. Very beautiful already. I am so excited to get into this. Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and set that over here to the side. And last but not least, you get the actual base of the statue here. Very beautiful. Look at that. Go ahead and stick that right here. Move this out of the way. And let's go ahead and get this bad boy assembled. Awesome. Starting off with the base of this thing, I love the texture and sculpt here that they went with the groundwork. You get a nice bronze/gold nameplate here that says Jurassic Park, and that is a reflective metal. Also, throughout the base of the statue, it has this nice taper that goes to the base. Other side of this, it's going to say Velociraptor Jump. The edition size, so 256 out of limited edition. I don't know what the edition size. And then you have the Prime1 Studios logo there. Jurassic Park logo. And then it looks like you have some table protectors here, so that way you don't scratch the bottom of the base. So that's a really nice touch. Now the peg is going to be this nice like aluminum metal color, or metal, as you can hear. Nice metal, so it's going to be very, very sturdy. I recommend, and in the instructions it says to put this into the Raptor and then mounting it here in the peg hole. So before we do that, let's take a quick look at the Raptor. Oh man, here is the star of our show. Look at this beauty. Wow, wow, wow. Super detailed. I am absolutely loving this thing. Like, first impressions is that the sculpt on this is absolutely phenomenal and fantastic. We'll go ahead and dive into greater detail in a second, but want to highlight the peg hole here. It's right in the Raptor's bum hole. So we're going to take our pole, insert it into the anus of this Raptor here. And then we're going to take the base, line up the peg hole in the base. Go ahead and just give it a nice little twist until it's in there, and bada bing, bada boom, our statue is assembled. Righty ho, now that we got this beautiful statue all put together, let's take a closer look here. So I want to go ahead and start off with the portrait. Sorry, there you go. Sorry for the quick cut. I just wanted to get a little bit closer. So starting with the portrait, love the detail and sculpt in this thing, guys. This looks incredibly accurate to what we get in the first Jurassic Park film. And again, if I haven't mentioned it, I apologize, but this is a sculpt or representation from the raptors in the first Jurassic Park movie. I'm a huge fan of that design. It's not my favorite design, mind you, but it's pretty darn up there. Love that the color that they went with the eyes. I mean, look at that. It is just absolutely gorgeous. You also get nice detail and sculpt inside the mouth of the raptor. Let me go ahead and position that so you guys can see in there. Nice gloss work and sculpt work on the tongue. I mean, look at that. It is phenomenal. Nicely sculpted, little sharp and jagged teeth. I love that they're not all uniform, so they do have variance in them. And I love this speckle work. So I have to go and see how accurate this is to the movie. But I love the speckle work that they have all along the face and body of the raptor, which we'll dive into more in a second. But love that they even sculpted the eyelids on this raptor. It is so phenomenally well done. Moving on to the body. I mean, look at this, guys. It's just such a gorgeous statue. I love the pose. I love all of the muscle work and muscle definition in the sculpt of this thing. I love the skin textures that they went with and the paint application. You get different hues of browns and tans, and it's just hitting it on the nail for me, guys. Even the detail work in the bone structure, muscle definition on the arms. I mean, look at that. Just everywhere you look, it is just eye candy. Look at those claws. Those claws are phenomenal, especially when you have the raptor just head on like this and you take a look at those claws. Very, very nicely well done. Underside of the raptor, you're going to get really nice skin texture and sculpt down here. You can see the folds of the skin, and they just nailed it, guys. I am in love with this statue. I am so glad I decided to pick this up, but really well done. Since this raptor is in jumping and attacking position, I just want to highlight his feet. Like, this is just well done. They really knocked it out of the park when it comes to the claws here, the infamous raptor claws in there. Posed back and ready to strike. I mean, just so well done. I love this thing. I guess that gives us an opportunity to transition to the tail since we're kind of back here. Love the sculpt work of the tail and the skin textures here. Really, really nicely done. I mean, everywhere you look, there's just detail on this guy. Now, when it comes to articulation, this is a static figure, so meaning it is a statue, meaning that there are no points of articulation. Technically, the only thing you can do is orientate the raptor on the base. I believe you're supposed to face it this way with the tail having more room, I guess, back here. As you can see, it's longer to go from this point to this point rather than this point to this point. But I prefer to, I'm probably going to display it like this. In all honesty, I think it looks the best like that. And actually something that I noticed while manipulating this is that this base reminds me of the shape of Isla Nublar. So if you look at that, I'll go ahead and put a picture of Isla Nublar up here. But it does give off like Isla Nublar vibes for the base. So I think that's a really nice hidden Easter egg there. If that's what they were going for, bravo. If not, and it's just a coincidence, still bravo. Now this is a side-by-side comparison that I was really excited to do with you guys. So on the left here, we have just the two raptors from Iron Studios, which they do a phenomenal job with their Jurassic Park statues. And then on the right, you have their competitor, which is Prime1 Studio, when it comes to this small 1/10 line that they've been doing. Now, looking at these side-by-sides, I honestly think they both have their strengths and weaknesses. So, in truth, now that I'm staring at these, it's hard to deny that Prime1 is way more detailed when it comes to the skin texture. I mean, look at all the folds. Look at all this texturing in the skin. I think they take the cake and they knock it out of the park. When it comes to the Iron Studios, it's not as detailed when it comes to skin texture. However, I will give the point to Iron Studios that their base is a little bit more interesting to look at, in my opinion. I mean, just the foliage that they have down here, they really knocked it out of the park with that. And I have to say their paint application, I kind of dig it on the Iron Studios a little bit better. I feel like this is a more accurate representation to what the two raptors or what the raptors in Jurassic Park look like versus this paint scheme. Don't get me wrong, this is very cool and very well done, but I just think that Iron Studios takes the cake when it comes to base and the paint that they went with this. Now, when it comes to accuracy of what the raptors look like in Jurassic Park, it's kind of hard because they both have their strengths and weaknesses, as I mentioned before. I kind of feel like the anatomy in the body is a little bit closer to what Prime1 did than what Iron Studios did. I mean, if you look at the faces, I feel like the faces on these raptors are a little too elongated. I don't know. I could be wrong. I feel like they're a little too elongated. In this one, they did a better job. It's not so elongated, and I feel like anatomy-wise that they nailed it, or Prime1 Studios nailed it a lot closer than Iron Studios did when it comes to the anatomy of the raptors. Also, before we go into other side-by-side comparisons, I just wanted to bring out one other Iron Studios piece to highlight. Now here next to the Prime1 Studios, we have the Iron Studios T-Rex Attack from their 1/10 line. And again, I'm going to go ahead and use air quotes when I say 1/10. As you can see, I kind of draw from my point earlier that when it comes to skin textures, I think Prime1 nailed it out of the park. I feel like with the Iron Studios, it's good. It gets the job done, but I feel like the skin texture, I feel like this is 4K resolution here, and this is just like HD, like it's still rendering almost. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. That's the best way I can say it. That this is like 4K HD definition, and this is just regular HD. That's the best way I can describe it. But again, when it comes to paint application, I feel like the Iron Studios is way more accurate than the Prime1 Studios. Just some food for thought. But enough of like quality comparisons. I just want to draw attention to how well these pair together. If you're a huge stickler on like size accuracy and having things to scale, then obviously you can't put these two together. But if, for example, if you were to take the other two that I just had out here, they scale pretty darn well next to each other. I think they did a good job with that. But either way, if you're a Jurassic Park collector and you had these two in your collection, I feel like this would make a really nice addition. Now that we got Iron Studios Jurassic Park pieces out of the way, I just wanted to highlight some other side-by-side comparisons. So if you're a Bandai collector, this is what we're looking like on a comparison next to a Bandai figure. Here is a Haya piece and a SH Monster Arts figure next to the Prime1 Studios Raptor. Here is a X plus 30 centimeter piece next to the Prime1. Imagine if Godzilla just showed up in Jurassic Park to fight these guys. Not a chance. Here is a gallery diorama piece next to the 1/10 statue. And last but not least, this is another 1/8 scale gallery diorama piece. This time this is the Jungle Hunter from Gallery Diorama. Final thoughts on this guy. What a amazing 1/10 statue. Now, I went ahead and pre-ordered this back in about mid-2024. It did take about a year and a half for this thing to come out. I know it was supposed to come out May of 25, but it was delayed, and I took inventory of this realistically around the beginning of November of 2025. That being said, it went on pre-order for about $96 to $115, and I ordered mine off a Sideshow. So was really stoked to get this in. I saw this and I was like, I have to have this piece. It is just a phenomenal looking piece. Love the pose, and I think it would make a really good addition into my collection. I actually regret not getting the standing open mouth version that I went ahead and put earlier on in this video. I think it would have made a nice companion piece for this guy. Now, if you are a fan of the original Jurassic Park movie like I am, I believe that this will make an excellent addition to anybody's collection. I don't know if there's any places selling this new, so you're probably going to have to resort to the secondhand market, in all honesty, if you want to pick this up. Do your research. I don't know what this is going for. I actually haven't seen any of these on the aftermarket as of recent. So I think they're remaining in collectors' hands. And I mean, I don't blame them. This is a really nice and beautiful piece. But do your research. Make sure you're comfortable before buying. And, you know, I hope this review helps. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Next up, we're going to have the Ichiban Show Godzillasaur figure review. So if you want to stay up to date with the channel, please consider subscribing so that way you stay up to date with all of this channel shenanigans. Also, after that, we'll go ahead and go into an Iron Studios piece. Another one, we'll go ahead and do a Marvel piece. I'm debating whether to do the 30 centimeter or the Marvel first. I'm kind of leaning towards the 30 centimeter now that I'm talking out loud with you guys. I think I'll go ahead and do that one first, and then we'll do the Marvel piece, just so that way we're giving Marvel a little bit of love. Also got a few surprises coming in. So I have a surprise figure from YMSF coming in. I have a new piece coming in actually from a company that I've never ordered from before. Super excited to showcase that to you guys. It's another Jurassic Park piece. So stay tuned for that. Anyways, guys, love you all, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.